Hey, Ray DelVecchio here from websiteprofitcourse.com. Today, I want to go through 5 web designs for you, and I picked these out, all local service companies, to give you an idea of the features that you would have to implement if you want to become a web designer. And I'm also going to dig a little bit into the services behind the website so you can see how they implemented some of these features. So the first one here is Horizon Services. This is one of the biggest home service companies in the Northeast. They operate in multiple states, and if I scroll down here, I'll be able to see their locations. So they have locations in Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. And I sent an email out about them probably about a year ago to my email subscribers because they were acquired. It was a multi-million-dollar acquisition, and they also buy out a lot of smaller home service companies to expand their client base. But the reason I picked them is because they have so much money that if you can implement just a fraction of these features or do them just a notch below what they're showing here, you can build a great home service website. So the first thing to note on this one is their main colors obviously are blue and orange. They got a couple coupons here. When you hover over it, it shows you the orange color. I love that they got a picture of a guy here with the Horizon Services logo. You'd be shocked at how many home service companies don't have any pictures of their owner, the team, or job photos. They just have, stock photos and just really boring copywriting. But other than the main color scheme here, it's pretty obvious that they have contrasting colors for their main call to action buttons. And up here in the menu, that's Easy Book. And down here, you got the booking button along with the phone call button. Now, this website is built with WordPress. I looked into it, and it seems to be a custom theme. It's possible that that custom theme is piggybacking off of another theme, or maybe it was built with one of the website builders. But I wasn't able to figure that out after a little quick inspection. Now, what I was able to see were the plugins that they used, and I identified 4 plugins. One is called Mega Menu, and that's how they're implementing this drop-down menu that's a little bit more complicated than just the menu items as a list. They also have one called Expanding Archives. So if I go into their blog here, I don't know if they have a link yet. It's right here under the About Us page. So if I go into their blog section, you can see the categories. Instead of being listed on a sidebar, they have a little drop down here. I believe that this is from the plugin Expanding Archives. And I think I saw another one called Accordion Menu, so it could have been either of these. That might be that feature right there with the drop down after you click that plus button. And then the last one that they use is Gravity Forms, and that's what they use to do this online booking. Now, I'm not sure if the entire form is built with that or if they have some type of custom coding, but I like that they have this little option here, what type of service to provide, air conditioning, heating, a system estimate, plumbing, water heater, drain, water treatment, and they got these really cool icons for that. And if we click the next button, that'll go to the next step. This is where you fill in your address. And obviously this would go to one of their salespeople. And the last thing worth mentioning is that if you go back to the homepage here, a feature you see on a lot of websites nowadays, if you look at the bottom right, is this little chat icon. This is with a third-party service called Apex Chat. I know Facebook Messenger has a way to build chatbots with it, and I've seen many other services that offer this, like Intercom. There's some WordPress plugins that do it, and it's just an easy little sticky icon. As you're scrolling the page, it's always there, and they have the same button over here, Start Chat, which opens that window. The second website here is a popular bar in Philadelphia that I've been to called Monk's Cafe. They have one of the widest selections of Belgian beer. Now, I looked at the way this is built, and you can see this is much, much simpler than the Horizon website. It looks like the technology behind this is Microsoft ASP.NET, which I've never used before, so I really have no idea how to even start with that or what type of features that offers. And I also found that there was a bootstrap.css file. Bootstrap is really just a CSS framework that makes it a little bit easier to design sections on your website. The main feature on here is just this sticky menu, and it's slightly transparent. Other than that, it's just a full width design. If I had one recommendation, I'd say that they should probably add some pics of the inside of the bar. You kind of see that as the background photo there. You don't really see people sitting around, what the bar area looks like. You can see the address here. This is linked to Google Maps. And obviously, as a bar, you want to see what's on tap. So you go to the On Tap page, and they have a full list here. You can do this easily with a WordPress page, some headings and paragraphs. You got a sidebar with your email, sign up, and what's up next, along with some social icons. Down here, the one that they're featuring is this Russian River Pliny the Elder. This is supposedly one of the best IPAs in the world. I've never had it. It's a West Coast beer. About 5 years ago, my friends and I were really big into home brewing. So we went to a lot of different bars, we tried a lot of different beers, and we tested out a lot of styles when we were doing our own home brews. So craft beer is definitely something that has a special place in my heart. I like to see, bars like this have great websites. Even though, like I said, they might be lacking with some photos, this is the main information that people want to see. They want to know what they have on tap, and it seems like they update this, if not daily, every couple of days. The other thing that they have here is a shop, but this shop is not on the same domain. This shop is built with Shopify, and you can see they use a completely different template for that. So this is just on a Shopify subdomain under myshopify.com. This is where they sell their gift cards along with other types of goodies, can holders, shirts, and whatnot. And this is something that you'll see with a lot of websites. They don't necessarily do everything integrated under one system. They use third-party services to implement these different features. Now for the next two examples, I picked New York City dentist. So I did a search for that. This was the first Google ad result that came up. So obviously they're probably paying a lot of money since New York City is one of the biggest markets in the country. And dentistry is something that is going to pay a little bit higher than a lower level service, something like yoga or a coffee shop. They don't have the same budget as a big dentist like this that was established in 1979. So you can see that this is a much more elaborate design. This one is built with WordPress, and I found the theme behind this. It was called the Athlete theme. But when I went to the theme seller, they didn't even have a page for that Athlete theme, and it forwarded to another URL. So I don't know if that theme company was bought out by someone else. But I like this main slider here. Obviously, you got the video in this first slide with their logo. The second one shows, if I go down here, you can click to scroll. The second one shows all the places that they were featured in. And the third one is a picture of their team, which I think you need that on pretty much every website. You want to build trust with people by showing the faces behind the business. If you go over to these pages, you can see how they have a sub-menu. They really just have the list sub-menu. And if we go into the procedures, one thing I like about this website is their procedure pages are very well done. They got pictures, they got lots of good information, broken into sections, and I guarantee this helps them with SEO. They also have all their doctors, not just those first two on that main slider, doctor pages for each one of them, and the team, the administrative team, the hygienists. They got pictures of everybody. I love having a page like this on your website. This is something that I really only see with bigger companies, people that have physical office locations. Most companies, small businesses that have less than 5 people, they just don't put that on their website, and I just don't know why. I've dealt with a couple home service contractors, plumbers, that they just didn't want to put a picture of them on the website. And I think that's just kind of like a self-limiting belief. Maybe they don't think they look good. They don't want to clean up for a photo. It's just absurd to not take a photo nowadays with your phone and put it on your website. Now, some of the plugins that they use for WordPress, the first one was called Master Slider, and I'm pretty sure that's what's implementing this slider on the homepage. They got a plugin called InstaFeed, which I believe is supposed to show their Instagram photos. But if you go down here, you can see that there's no Instagram post in the section. So I don't know if maybe that plugin failed or something's wrong with the integration of it. They got one for Yelp reviews. So if I go over to the Why Us section and testimonials, I'm fairly certain that Yelp reviews plugin is just importing these reviews from Yelp, the 5-star reviews. I don't know if they can pick and choose. I didn't see a plugin for the Google reviews, so these might just be copied and pasted manually. The last one is the appointment booking. So if I click on the virtual consultation button, they have a step-by-step form here, and this plugin for WordPress is called Appointment Booking Wizard. So this takes you step by step. You put in your name, the services that you want, you pick a date. There's probably 10 or 15 different plugins for WordPress that you can use to do some type of appointment booking or contact form. I mean, that's what I love most about WordPress, that you have so many options to build in these features. The last thing that I want to mention is this patient access. So if I click on either the new patient form, the patient access account, this is going to bring up a pop-up menu. This has the domain of ident.ws. And I was able to find out that this is a company called Dentrix. So this is software specifically for dental practice management. And I looked at a few websites for dentists under those results for the New York City dentists, and a bunch of them use this. So this is obviously very popular in that industry. And one last thing that I wanted to look at is they also have a shop page that is built with Shopify. If I click on the products here, they got a product page, and they sell their own toothpaste and toothbrushes, which is pretty interesting. I've never seen dentists do that, but they obviously have enough money and enough business savvy to go ahead and do this. One thing I found interesting is that this button here, you can see that they tried to update the button text, but they left the old button text. So this says visit our shop and subscribe now without a space in there. So that's obviously a little typo they need to fix. But if you click on that, it opens up in a new tab because this is under a new domain. They didn't integrate this with their existing domain. This is linhart.nyc. And like I said, this is built with Shopify. So Shopify is one of the easiest content management systems specifically for e-commerce. You know, if you have more of a blog that is going to sell products, I think WordPress is the way to go. If you're strictly e-commerce and you really just have product pages and you're selling online, Shopify is a great option. The next website I also found from that search for New York City dentists, and this was the first ad on Google Maps. And what I find most interesting about this website is that it's so much more basic than the other one. This one is built with Wix. I really don't like the header area at all. You know, they have an extremely basic logo. It looks like it was built in Microsoft Paint or something like that. It doesn't match the background color. They got their business name here offset to the right and to the bottom, so it's not aligned that well. I don't like the contrast between the menu buttons. They only have 4 pages here: home, staff. They do have pages for each staff member, office tour, and then fees. But, I mean, you got like a darker tealish, bluish kind of color, and the menu items are a dark gray, so it's kind of hard to see them. They have way less copywriting than the other one. If there is one thing I do like, it's that they have an office tour. I'll go to that page in a second, but the first button here, you know, the one thing I like is that it's kind of obvious. This is the call to action, schedule here. If you click this, this is another one where it's not built into the website. It's done through a third-party service called FlexBook. This is really just a booking platform built specifically for dentists. So if I go through this, you can kind of see how this form operates. You pick whether you're a new patient, your age, what doctor you want to see. And it looks like the cool thing about this is they, instead of making you pick a date, they give you the first availability of that doctor. So it probably integrates with the doctor's calendar. And if I go to the website of this company, I believe it was flex.dental. So you can see some of these companies are using this interesting extension instead of .com. You saw the Linhart, they use .nyc. This one uses .dental. But this is the software to do that booking feature, and they list their pricing. I don't think the other ones that I went through had pricing on there. You had to get on a consultation to get the pricing. This one, they list it right on the page here. So you can see their lowest level plan is $199 a month, and they got a couple other options for $249 a month. And it looks like the combination of these two is $398 a month. So that gives you an idea of what this company is paying for the booking software. So obviously they value that a lot more than they do the website, because I'm guessing they probably had somebody build this for them, maybe in-house, just with Wix, a simple Wix template. They obviously did not spend a lot of time on the web design, but as long as they have this scheduler in here, that's probably all they really care about. I still think that they would benefit from having a better website. So let me check out some of these inner pages. Let me go to the staff page. They don't have an overall staff page. It looks like this just goes right to the first member. I mean, and this is all they have on that page: a picture and one little quote. I'm guessing that's how the rest of these pages are set up, and that's definitely the way this one looks. Let me go to the office tour, and on here they have a YouTube video embedded where they're just going through the office. So this is 50 seconds long. This actually looks like a pretty well-produced video. You know, nothing really fancy, but you know, as a doctor, people do want to see the office they're going to. They want to know the doctors that they're going to be working with. Obviously, with doctors, people are going to probably research the doctor names on third-party websites where other people can leave reviews on those doctors. And they got a little gallery down here, along with the schedule button, which goes to FlexBook. And they got a ton of white space here. I don't know what the deal is with this. Ton of white space down here, and then 2 random photos down there. I don't know why they did that, but that just tells me that they built it themselves with Wix and weren't able to figure that out. And then if we go over to the fees page, there's another service that they hook into here. They got just a graphic with the monthly membership prices. So if I click the more info button, this goes over to clear.com, Kleer, and I did a little bit of research into them, and they just do membership plans for dentistry without insurance. So if you don't have insurance but you do want dental work, you can sign up through Clear, and they just cut out that insurance middleman. So I thought that this was a great example of a website that is extremely basic. They probably did it themselves or didn't pay very much for it, but they got all the features that they need through third-party services. And the final website that we're going to go through is a dog boarding website. I searched for this in Charlotte, North Carolina. This one is built with Squarespace. So this is the first Squarespace website that we're getting on here. I think this is probably one of the most bare bones Squarespace templates that they have. One thing that I used to believe is that you needed, more elaborate design. Nowadays, through my experience, especially with seeing analytics, simple is always better. And I think that instead of doing crazy designs and graphics, it's best to just have high quality photos, and you can see that's what they feature on here. They got a gallery of all the dogs, happy, hanging out, and that does a lot more for building trust than, paying thousands of dollars for a design agency to completely redo this website. I'm guessing that somebody, just like the other one with Wix, somebody in-house probably made this website for them, since it's super basic and they only have a handful of pages here. If I go over to the service rates page and scroll down, they got all the rates here, and if I go to the bottom, you can see that this was powered by Single Platform. So it looks like this was probably just a widget from this company, Single Platform. They pasted into Squarespace that gives them this design. That's my guess. They also got a new client registration page. Just like the last couple of websites, if I click on this new client registration form, it's going to bring up a new domain called petexec.net. This is kind of a service that is just like the Flexbook for the dentistry industry. This is kind of like an all-in-one pet care management service, and I think they also do payments. So that's just the way that they kind of outsource that. They don't build it into the website. They just use a third-party service to take care of that. Now, what they do through Squarespace is the application. And one thing I noticed, too, when I click on that application button, I'm now getting the not secure message from Google Chrome. So that means that this website is currently using HTTP instead of HTTPS. So I don't know if that's a feature to automatically forward from one to the other. They definitely have a security certificate because the previous pages were under HTTPS. They had SSL. So they probably just need to either enable that. If somebody goes to the HTTP version, they just get forwarded to the HTTPS. But it looks like this form was built with Squarespace. I'm guessing they have a form builder. But I don't think that Squarespace has an equivalent of WordPress plugins where they allow third-party developers to hook into their system. I could be wrong. It's possible they added that within the last couple of years. If so, let me know in the comments below. I think those are good examples using a wide variety of technologies, platforms, a bunch of different features, and you can see how various industries have specific services and companies that cater to those industries, and that's what I think you need to do as a web designer. It's way easier to deal with one industry if you can, because then you can reuse a lot more of your work, which means you're spending less time and making more money per project. Like I mentioned, I prefer WordPress to do websites, and I think the easiest theme to use for web design is Divi by Elegant Themes. That's a drag and drop builder. I got a full tutorial on how to build a website with Divi, and I'll include that in the description below. I built that one out kind of like a landscaping website, which you can use for really any home service company that you like. And if you are ready to start a web design business, you have some skills, you want to freelance, you enjoy putting together websites, go to my homepage, websiteprofitcourse.com. You can download a free giveaway there, 15 tools to start your web design business. We discussed a couple of them today. Those are all the core tools that you need to get started, and you can add on industry-specific ones if you like, or put your unique spin on it, find a creative way to do something. I also got a client questionnaire, which is super helpful if you have a consultation with somebody. These are all the questions that you need to ask to get an idea of what the project is going to entail. You can pull out information from them, so it's easier for you to put the website together. To download that, go to websiteprofitcourse.com/questions. And all of these links, along with other helpful links, will be in the description below. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, along with WordPress tutorials and freelancing tips. If you got any questions or experience with any platforms or services, whether it's WordPress, Squarespace, Wix, ASP, I'd love to hear what you think about them, what you like the most or what you don't like. Leave it in the comments below. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you join me in the next one.